Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Charles D. Coach Wilson, and I am shooting this video live and direct straight from my kitchen. And so this morning, I wanted to share something with you about listening. Listening, listening, listening. And so the reason why I wanted to share this with you, I try to do personal development every single day. I try to do personal development every single day. And so in doing personal development, come across a lot of different topics. And today I was listening to a subject covered by Jeb Blunt, and he was talking about listening. And I just wanted to hop on this video and share what I got out of it with you. And so I'm going to talk to you about three things about listening. I'm going to talk about what is listening. I want to talk about why listening is important. And I want to talk about how you can get better at listening, right? How you can get better at listening. Now, I'm going to look away from my screen. That's one of the things that he talked about, is that when you look away from the screen, you want to make sure that you prepare people for that. And so in this video, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be looking away from my screen because I want to make sure that I'm communicating the right information to you. So I've prepared some notes that I'm going to refer to, and I'll be looking at those notes periodically just to make sure that I'm on track and I'm sharing with you exactly what I need to share with you so that you can benefit from improving your listening skills. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what is listening. So listening is our ability to interpret, that's to receive information, then to convert the meaning of that information in our minds. It's also our ability to pay attention and focus on a particular thing or a particular person. That's what listening is about. It's the ability to receive and interpret information and pay attention to a particular thing or a particular individual. So, have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and the whole time you're in a conversation with them, it seemed like they were ready to go? Just drop a 1 if you can hear me. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and it seemed like they were distracted? It seemed like they weren't paying attention to you. How did that make you feel? Have you ever been in a situation where you're communicating your point of view and it doesn't seem like the other individual is understanding what you're saying or your point? Just think about that for a moment. These are some of the things that I've experienced. I'm sure that you've experienced them too, because listening is a skill that we all need to work on. And it's often a skill that we don't give a lot of importance to, but it's very important, especially in this day and age. I think our communication skills are so important, and the biggest portion of communicating is listening. And so you have 2 eyes, which definitely helps your ability to listen. You have 2 ears. You have 1 mouth in which you communicate from. So let me just talk about why listening is important. So listening is important because when you're listening to an individual, it communicates to them that you care about them. Have you ever just had somebody listen to you, like maybe your mother listened to you and it just made you feel loved because she cared enough to listen? Have you ever been on a agitated call? You've called a company, you didn't receive proper service or the proper product, and you're trying to explain what happened and what bothered you about the situation, and the customer service rep on the other end just listens to your concerns. Has that ever happened to you? See, listening is about paying attention and focusing on what you're doing. And so When you focus on the individual, you eliminate distractions. You know, you make them feel like they're the most important thing in the room. So when you listen to people, this is why listening is important. It makes them feel cared for, it makes them feel important, and it makes them feel valued. If you have a problem listening, then chances are people feel that you don't care about them, that they're not important to you, to you, and that they're not valued or appreciated by you because you don't listen. And so listening is so important. It's such an important skill. It's important at home when you're dealing with your significant other, when you're dealing with your children, when you're dealing with the school teachers, when you're dealing with your potential business partners. It's important at church. It's important in all of our relationship. Listening is so important. And as you can see, I got a little bit distracted and I looked over, but I'm focused and I'm concentrating on this information that I'm sharing with you, because listening is absolutely important to us all. So the last thing that I want to discuss with you and share with you is, how do you improve your listening skills? So I started to say it before, but we have two eyes. So when you're listening, it's not just about the information that you're taking in through your two ears, although that's important too, to make sure you actually hear and understand the words that are being communicated to you. But you also have to pay attention. You also listen with your eyes, because you're reading body language. You're reading facial expressions. That's a part of listening. Your ears are important because you're listening to more than just the words people are saying. You're listening to the context that they're saying them in. You're listening to the texture of the voice. Is there a voice inflection? Are they speaking low? Do you gotta lean in? Can you really hear what they're talking about? Are they angry? Is the tone an angry tone? Is it a happy tone? Is it a concerned tone? Is it a sad tone? Is it an excited tone? These are things that you pick up with when you're listening with your ears. So we talked about your eyes, we talked about your ears, but you can also listen better through asking questions. See, depending on the type of questions you ask, that goes along with the interpretation, how well you're interpreting the information that you're hearing. A person can tell this based on the type of questions that you ask, or the lack thereof. So you got your eyes, you got your ears, you got the type of questions that you ask, you got, words of affirmation. I hear you. I understand you. Questions that you ask, can you expound a little bit more on that? This is a question that you can ask. Those are some things that you can do. This is how you improve your listening skills. But last but not least, do you pay attention to the individual that you're communicating with? Do you pay attention to them? Do you focus on them? Because that communicates a feeling, that's kind of a combination of everything, because it communicates a feeling that, when you focus on an individual, that they are important, they are valued, they are appreciated. Now, this also translates when you're paying attention to things, because we don't always just pay attention to or listen to people. Sometimes we're listening to a situation. You walk into a dangerous area. Are you listening? Are you in touch with everything that's going on around you? Are you really listening to that environment? I'm retired military, and we have to go down range from time to time, and your senses go up. You start to pay attention more. So paying attention is very important. what's off about this? You know, what's out of the norm, what's out of the usual? These are all important things that you have to do when you're listening. And these things will help you get better as a listener. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Charles D. Coach Wilson, and I hope that you've gotten something from the information that I've shared. I'd love to hear your feedback, your comments, your questions. Just drop them in the comment section below, and I'd love to correspond with you back and forth and see how you feel about what is listening, why it's important, and how to become a better listener. Thank you.